Doing Right.
Oh, that's okay.
Wow, look at how many people.
Where's Rob at?
Huh?
He's at. In Vegas.
All
Oh,
right.
I didn't know where he was at. In Vegas. Good. We ready?
Yes.
That's this meeting coming to order. It is October the 23rd, 2025. Roll call, please, David.
Yes, Chairman Smith,
Here.
Vice Chairman Buffington,
Here.
Commissioner Petrie.
Here. Let there show that there is a quorum present. Staff members are Richard Bustamante, in-house counsel, Izzy Trejo, New Mexico Racing Commission Executive Director, David Dominguez, New Mexico Racing Commission Senior Law Clerk. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
States of America,
for which it stands one nation,
under
indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Okay, about the approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none.
Buffington, I'll make a motion to approve. Second, Petrie.
Roll call, please, David.
Yes, Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Buffington,
Yes.
Commissioner Petrie.
Yes.
Commissioners' reports. I have none.
I have none.
Mr. Petrie,
I
None.
have none.
Agency Director report. New Mexico Racing Commission report.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Izzy Trejo, Executive Director of the New Mexico Racing Commission. We got a lot to say, but I know we don't have a lot of time today, so I'll be fairly brief, but just want to make note and say thank you to our entire staff that saw us through the renovations of the agency offices. As you know, we had to move completely out and work from home for a couple of weeks during the renovations and moved back in and unpacked everything, which has been a grueling process for the staff, and I applaud them for all their efforts. Everyone put forth a gallon effort in that process. It was tedious and long and tiring, but I give the staff a great deal of thanks for that. And I also want to make mention of Mr. David Dominguez, our senior paralegal. He's in his first month of work with the agency. Happy to say, and I got to give him a great big attaboy. He's been phenomenal. He's fit into the agency like a glove. So thank you, David, for all your hard work and really absorbing the industry, which is a complicated one to learn, but it's as if he's worked here for a year. So we give a big thank you to Mr. Dominguez for his job well done. The championship races at Albuquerque place, a beautiful night of racing. I have to say, hat off to John Cook and his staff. We had some difficult situations, but the industry come together and made the best of a tough situation with the lights going out. So we applaud them for that.
Mhm.
And the inspection at Zia Park went very, very well. Their facility looks, and I've heard from 3 different staff members, that this facility looks better than it ever has. A lot of renovations to the paddock, the tote board, the track surface, I'm being told right now, is in great shape. They brought their George Moncrief back, their longtime superintendent. He knows that track surface very well. So we're looking forward to a very good race meet over there. At that, I'll stand for any questions, Commissioners.
Any questions?
I have none.
Commissioner Petrie, you got any questions for the director?
No, sir, I do not.
Let's move on to the New Mexico Breeders Association. Mary, are you up there, Mary?
I'm here. Good morning, Commissioners. Mary Barber, New Mexico Horse Breeders, Executive Director. For my race a day report for the Downs of Albuquerque and New Mexico State Fair through Sunday, October 5th, they had run 25 days and a total of 87 restricted New Mexico bred races. Of those, there were 31 thoroughbred overnights, 30 quarter horse overnights, 3 thoroughbred trials, 19 quarter horse trials, 3 thoroughbred stakes, and 1 quarter horse stake. The total contribution from the New Mexico horse breeders to these races came to $468,500, and that is $45,000 less than in 2024. The Downs of Albuquerque averaged 3.48 restricted New Mexico bred races per day. There were 37 thoroughbred, 50 quarter horse, and they were plus 12 for the 3 a day requirement. After deducting any scratched horses, for the average field size for thoroughbred New Mexico bred races, overnight races only, there were 292 horses with 31 races, and the average field size was 9.42 horses per race. For the quarter horses, there were 291 horses with 30 New Mexico bred overnight races, and the average was 9.7 horses per race, for the combined average field size of 9.56 horses per race. For New Mexico breds running in open overnight races in their first 25 days, there were 263 New Mexico breds that ran open, and of those, 65 came in first, second, or third. That is 25%. There were 25 thoroughbreds and 40 quarter horses. Our total contribution to the purses for these horses came to $72,317.60. And that concludes my reports. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Mary Barber?
I have a question, Mary. How many Arizona bred horses did take advantage of the opportunity to join our circuit?
Well, we just added our second horse yesterday afternoon. So there are 2 so far that are eligible to run in restricted New Mexico bred races, starting with Zia Park.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Not for
All right,
me.
thank you, Mary. Appreciate
Okay, thank you.
John, will you take us into executive session, please?
I will do that. I move for the commission to enter into closed executive session in order to discuss matters relating to licensing, limited personnel matters, deliberations on administrative proceedings, and attorney-client privilege matters pertaining to threatened or pending litigation in accordance with NMSA 1978, sections 10-15-1H, 1, 2, 3, and 7 of the Statutory Open Meetings Act.
We're now in closed
Second,
session.
Petrie.
Thank you.
Oh, I need a vote.
Okay, go ahead.
That's the motion I made, and Buffington will vote yes. Second, Petrie.
Roll call, David.
Yes. Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Buffington,
Yes.
and Commissioner Petrie.
Yes.
We are back on the record for the October regular meeting of the New Mexico Racing Commission. And during executive session, the matters discussed were those listed on the agenda item. There were updates and no decisions were made. And Chairman Smith.
Request for approval of promulgate administration rules hearing. Izzy.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, staff, myself, requesting the approval to promulgate a rules hearing for later on this year for subsection D of 15.2.3.8 NMAC, subsection A of 15.2.5.12 NMAC, as well as subsection A of 15.2.5.13 NMAC.
Do I hear a motion regarding a rules hearing?
Buffington, I will make that motion to approve.
Roll call, please, David.
Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Buffington,
Yes.
Commissioner Petrie.
Yes.
Okay. Request for approval of the 2025 Zia Park Board of Stewards. Izzy.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, you're respectfully requesting approval of the following stewards. Be approved for the 2025 Zia Park Race Meet, presiding steward Billy Cagna, associate steward Jeff Waxler, and we are still seeking a third steward, but we believe we will have someone here next month. And then as well as substitute stewards Elise Johnson, Elizabeth Garcia, Whitney Verbal, and Pinky Smith.
Buffington, I will make that motion.
Second, Petrie.
Roll call, please. David.
Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Buffington,
Yes.
Commissioner Petrie.
Yes.
Moving on to C, request for approval of commission regular meeting dates for the first 6 months of 2026. Izzy.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, agency staff, myself are requesting the following dates for the first half of 2026 to conduct meetings on Thursday, January 15th, 2026, 9 a.m. in Albuquerque. Thursday, February 26th, 2026, 9 a.m. in Albuquerque. Thursday, March 19th, 2026, 9 a.m. in Albuquerque. Thursday, April 16th, 2026, 9 a.m. here in Albuquerque. Thursday, May 21st, 2026, 9 a.m. Albuquerque. And Thursday, June 18th, 2026, 9 a.m. here in Albuquerque.
Do you have any discussion?
I was at the back of my dad's, my sister.
Go ahead. I'm looking for a motion.
Buffington, I will make that motion to approve those dates.
Second, Petrie.
Roll call, please, David.
Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Buffington,
Yes.
Commissioner Petrie.
Yes.
Moving on to D, presentation by Sunray Park. Izzy.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, we have Mr. Paul Blanchard and Mr. Don Cliff and Ms. Rita Jones of Sunland Park Racetrack Casino presented a PowerPoint in which Mr. David Dominguez will be handling from his end. And they would like to give you guys a presentation in regards to a hospital facility being constructed in Clothing.
Don, Paul, Rita, we're putting it in your hands.
You have a PowerPoint available to give you. Or you would just let David know when you want to switch slides.
Morning, Chairman Smith, Commissioner Buffington, and Commissioner Petrie. Appreciate the chance to show you what the plan is for this particular relocation. So with that, I'd like to talk about the positive impacts from Sunray Racetrack Casino relocation. The relocation will benefit the New Mexico horsemen's, both the thoroughbred and quarter horse breeds, with modern, sustainable facilities, superior purses, and more race days. Additionally, all the Mexicans will benefit through significantly larger gaming tax payments generated on behalf of the state general fund. The purpose presentation issued for approval in Mexico Racing Commission Board for relocation of Sunray Racetrack and Casino. Provide overview of the development plan, present rationale, proposed site, and benefits, outline steps toward implementation. Slide. Strategic rationale for location of the selected site was Clovis. We'll review the architectural designs, economic benefits, commitment to equine and environmental excellence, immediate next steps, and questions and answers. So next, the modernization, the modernized facilities to meet racing and welfare standards will strengthen long-term economic sustainability, will attract a larger racing customer base, enhance customer experience accessibility, and will support the broader equine industry and tourism. Slide, please. Locational view. The site's located it's on your package, presentation package, and got digital maps. We can maybe the commissioners to show the locations in your packages, but that's also a little plotter to show you the area around Clovis. Located on Highway 60, right on the main road. It's got a large customer base, which will result in larger purses for horsemen and more community tax paid in the state of New Mexico state. The land availability and infrastructure access. That'd be slides, selected site focus. Land availability and access. Site location has been secured with an executed purchase option. But the site will have public utilities and services such as police and fire for the site. Future expansion potential. The property includes approximately 200, well, right at 200 acres, 120 acre feet of water rights on this site. Next slide. The architectural designs of the selected location have been generated by Ewing Cole in collaboration with New Mexico Ownership and Track Management, who have over 60 years of combined knowledge and experience with New Mexico Racing Commission rules and regulations. Ewing Cole is a recognized, nationally recognized architectural firm with extensive casino and racetrack experience and long-term knowledge of New Mexico racetracks and requirements. So with that, let's go on to the presentation package that you have in front of you. The presentation package is also on the easel. It shows on the 200 acres, which to give you an example, the 200 acre, the whole state fair is 236 acres. So this particular site, without anything else, is 200 acres. And it's got room for expansion. We'll go through that in just a second. On your first page is the actual of the presentation package is the actual map showing the location of the site on 60 and its proximity to main road through Clovis Prince and gives you an idea of where the site is actually located. That's not the second. All right. Second, the next page is the proposed site. That gives you the idea. It's basically flat. It's a basically flat site. There are 2 county roads on each end of it. that are paved that give access to the different parts of our project that we'll go through in just a minute. It has large frontage on Highway 60, so there's plenty of room and plenty of ingress and egress at the site. Next slide, please. Overall development master plan is page 4 of your package. It gives you an idea of the scope of the development and the location of the grandstand, then the location of the casino. Gives you the location, it shows you where the barn area is, and we'll go through that in depth in just a second. Parking field, the administration building, then the future development for the hotel. Also, we'll show you on the very top of the top right of the site, there'll be an RV park there. That'll be for trainers and grooms. There'll be 40 hookups there. That'll be have water, sewer. They'll have electric and cable to that park. That park is fenced off from the restricted area of the barn area, so it's fenced off, but they can come back down the county road E and back in, and then go through the guard shack to get into the restricted area. We'll go through that. There'll be a better picture of that here in just a minute. Page 5, the next slide. It's kind of redundant, so we can skip that, I think. It just gives you, but this next site plan is the one that's pretty clear. The site plan shows really how everything lays out. You've got, and again, where there's more in depth, these next pages, but it'll give you the overall in situ development and how these properties relate to each other. The parking is very significant. Barn area is very, very good access to the saddling paddock and to the jockey quarters and to the administration building. So it's, and we'll have details of this here in a couple other pages that you can see and we can go through. You see where the hotel on the left side, where that's going to, how that access is in to service the casino, service the grandstand, and then how we have expansion areas up to the top left. That's an expansion area, and around the hotel, there's more expansion area all through there. So between the grandstand and the casino, we have a very large area that will be improved, that we'll be able to do expansion with. We can put, if you want to do tents, we can put tents there. We can do all kinds of things in that area. We have a detail in here on the racetrack dimensions, and we'll show you that in just a second. You'll see all the racetrack dimensions. We'll show you where the maintenance barn is, what the test barn is. We'll show you where the location for the proposed chapel and the horseman's kitchen is. So we'll go through and we've included pretty much everything we know we'll need, everything we know that's going to be required. We'll be able to show you so that when you have questions, we can go right to those slides. Okay, the next one, please. So this is the dimensioned racetrack. This shows you that it has a 7 furlong chute that has 1 mile over 550, and it shows you this, that home stretch is 90 feet wide, rest are 80 feet wide. So you got, it's very good for our quarter horses and certainly fine for the thoroughbreds. You see, you can get a pretty good idea of how it lays out. You can see where the test barn is. In around that, that's a pretty big area. Again, you got to remember the scope of this is 200 acres. So yeah, in that area is where we'll put the chapel, and we'll also locate the horseman's kitchen in that same area.
Where the test barn is?
In that same, you see that
Yeah.
big area right there? It's probably, I think that's about 7.5 acres right there. So it's a pretty good size
Yeah.
area. So we just got to figure out how big we're going to have the horseman's kitchen and how big we're going to have the chapel. So that's something we have to go through to finish the design with you and Cole on that.
I think your question, it will not be close to the test bar.
Yeah, so it'll be in this area, this
Yeah.
general area. It's not going to be.
Yeah.
this.
Right.
Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so this will give you a pretty good idea of barn area works, and it will show you, it'll give you an idea how many installed here. We have an insert in the next couple of pages that will show you the actual, what it was. The typical barn area is going to look like between barns and outhouses, and the spacing that's in there. You'll have that on your slide. We put you can see here where the RV parking is for the trainers and the grooms. You can see how it's located. So it's advantageous for them to be able to get back and forth easily, but it still keeps the integrity of the restricted area. So it gives access to the trainers and to deliveries and all that on County Road E. Comes up to the top and comes back down into a dark shack to be able to be allowed to progress into the restricted area.
So that's not on a restricted area.
What's that?
The trailer hookups.
The trailer hookups are not on a restricted area. That's fenced out of the restricted area. So that because we can't control what happens in the RV park. So, but it's all fenced off, so there's no access from the RV park into the restricted area unless they come out to the County Road E, come down and go through the guard shack. Okay, next slide. This again gives you a little better picture of how the relationship to all the different venues are, and the parking around these is obviously very adequate parking. It gives you an idea of how the grandstand's about 3 degrees off of the rail. So and obviously the track is oriented west to east. So this will give you an idea of the amount of parking we have, how the casino has and the grandstand are in close proximity, so that it's easy to get from one to the other. And then how the hotel will interact with this development. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's skip to 9, please. So 9 we'll get is a typical barn area, and it will show you that that every 8 stalls there's a tack room on it, and alternating on the ends will be bunks and wash racks on the ends. The stalls are 12 by 12 stalls. They're back to back. The barn, the shed row over the barn will be the stalls will be 48 feet, and then the barn area has all these breezeways going through that are 15 feet wide. There's the roads on the outside. Go back. The roads on the outside will show you the circulation pattern through this barn area. So that will show you that the roads are wide. There's plenty of room for deliveries, for veterinarians, shoers, the whole bit. So this will show you also that between the overhangs, there's 12 feet of overhang on each side of the barn. On each side of the barn, there's a 12-foot overhang over on the side of the stalls. There's 80 feet between overhangs. So there's a lot of room for walkers and a lot of space to get around the walkers. So again, for safety, there's plenty of room to move around without getting a chance of having an interaction with a horse that you don't want. And so this is a typical section through that barn area. In the barn area where the horses that are going to be running, there's 1,344 stalls in that area.
How many does the Downs have? Stalls.
1440.
This is gonna have 1334?
It says 1340 just for the racing.
Right.
Of course, then we have stalls for quarantine, stalls for test barn, stalls. We have other stalls.
It's a lot.
Next slide. So this will give you the layout of how the grandstand sits in relationship to the saddling paddock, how the paddock viewing area sits terraced to be able to look down on the paddock and in its proximity to the winner's circle. It shows you the saddling stalls themselves. It's 14, but really that's just the way it laid out. It shows you where the jocks building is and how the jocks building there, women's locker room, men's locker room, a fitness area. So it gives you how close that jocks is to be able to get out and back in after each race. The grandstand itself, this seating area is going to be approximately, with all floors, will approximately be somewhere around 3,000 to 3,200. It has ability to hold a lot more to the west of where it says where the standing area is, and to the west of that, it can hold a lot. It gives you kind of an idea of how it's set up on the ground floor and how it walks out, and then how we have a large apron where people can go out and see the end, or see the races.
That Fiesta apron and the outdoor event center, that all gonna be grass?
This, you're talking about everything that's that big, large area we have to the west?
Right.
It's going to be a combination of grass, concrete. It'll be user friendly, but it's going to be dirt. And it's not going to be.
And the honky tonk?
Wasn't that well? I'll show you. This is Gracie. So we're the next slide, please. 12. This is the second floor. It's the jockey club and turf club. It shows you jockey 270 feet. Yes, and turf club has 300. They have an outside terrace where if you're in the turf club, you can leave your table and walk out to a terrace and watch the races out. There's no seating out there, but you can stand out there and watch the races, and you can come back in. And this is all enclosed, and air conditioned area. And then the jockey club is 270. As I said, turf is 300. Mutuals that will be in between both, but will be separated, but they'll be in between both. And the jockey club has a terrace also on the east side that lets them look out onto the saddling paddock area and the winter circle. There's also a staircase coming out of there that will take you down to the saddling paddock and the winter circle.
The simulcast area,
Simulcast areas are downstairs.
wait until you get there.
Yeah,
Check.
there, we'll go back down to that just a second. The top for 13, please. That's the upstairs, third floor. And base area, the announcer, TV photo on the finish line, judges ring, and owner's box. And pretty much laid out. Sizes were all confirmed with our staff and with what were required for that area. Okay, 14 just gives you a cut through on the elevation to show how the different levels work with each other. And it's just meant to give you a sort of an idea of how those things will all sort of lay out. Number 15. Same sort of exhibit, just showing you the different levels and how the line of sight will be to where the rail is. And 16 is basically what the exterior elevation of the building is going to be. Don't worry about all that pipe in there, that won't be there. So that's architectural poetic license. But that will show you how that'll be hedges and sort of like we have an out there, it'll be hedges, and it gives you the idea of how people can walk out on those terraces while horses are getting saddled, and they can be viewed from above when they're getting saddled and they're coming out, as well as winter circle, and then the size of the apron that's there in relationship to the rails. The back of the economic code. This is our Vanna White right here.
Good job, Anna.
So the economic and community benefits are obviously construction, operational job creation, increased regional tourism will be substantial, and spending, increased regional tourism spending. Potential for mixed-use developments and local partnerships will exist. Again, commitment to equine and environment excellence. Track layout will accommodate at the top end for the thoroughbreds and the quarter horses, safety and performance. It's designed in accordance with the Mexico Racing Commission rules and regulations. Again, as I stated, we're well experienced in what those rules and regulations are and what's required. So the immediate steps that we need to take this is a 2-year project, so it's not going to happen overnight. We need to continue the pursuit of stakeholder and local regulatory engagement. need to go conduct soil boring, soil testing, and proctor tests. We need to create our 5-foot design for the racetrack for drainage, proper drainage, and proper sections through that. The proctor and the soil testing will give us what we need to do and what we need to add, what we need to do with that soil. That soil is basically a sort of a sandy loam, which is pretty good for a racing surface if you get the proper amount of organic and sand and maybe even some additional. But we have Dennis and will be our track consultant, so he'll come in, work with our soils engineer and work with our civil engineer to get our structure where we need it to be, but it'll be a 5-foot deep structure. We also need to obtain a grading and drainage plan for sites basically flat, and so we need to get our drainage and grading finished as soon as possible so we can get to 200 acres, pretty good sized sites. So we need to be able to get to it and start working our grading and drainage. And then we need to be able to finish our final construction architectural. And we need to get our final design and construction plans finished with the architect so we can get to permit. And that takes a while for that to get finished, to get all of the consultants, electrical engineers, the mechanical engineers, structural engineers, all them to get all their work so we can get to that point where we can start construction. With that, welcome any questions and feedback.
I have a couple questions, and I'm not sure this is the right venue, but you mentioned increased purse money and increased gaming tax. Can you be specific or ballpark?
Yeah. We feel like the first year that the application, first year we think will be about $12 million for purses, which is a significant increase. That would probably put us somewhere around 350 something to 360 a day for purses. Which
How many days?
34, probably 32, 34 something. And we'll be right there. So we'll basically double the amount of race days.
And assuming quarter horses and thoroughbreds?
We'll have, in fact, we're trying to figure out how to do some split meets now and be able to do, with this, it may give us a chance to actually Albuquerque run split meet in the summer that's got thoroughbreds in it. Depending on what happens with Ruidoso, as far as they're continuing to run just quarter horses, we can fit it in now. We can cover the grounds.
And for a time frame as far as when you would live race in Clovis?
Well, that's
I'm kind of a weed guy.
The problem is that, as you know, I've done this once before when we did house. So I know what we have to go through there. I know what we had to go through when we did Albuquerque and broke that off. And the grandstand, when we redid everything on the grandstand, did the lights, did the casino building separate. So I'm very familiar with what we got to do it. It's going to take 2 years. What obviously is going to be the hard thing is when we can get started, when we fit in that April, May slot, right? So whenever we get done, we have to be able to figure out how we can come back to that April, May slot.
Well, it all has to fit.
It all has to fit
statewide.
inside. So our plan is to race in 07. And now we got to figure out if we can do that by, I'm not sure we can do that by April and May, but we can do it somehow. And if we have to flip some dates with Albuquerque, we will. I don't know. We'll have to. I have an obligation under my lease with the Mexico State Fair that I have to run some days in there under my lease I have to run when the fair is open. So they're only open 10 days now. So I have to run it in that 10 days. So I've got to figure out, I'm going to sit down with Izzy and the commission and lay this all out. It's not simple. So it's a very tough timeline, but I'm familiar with it and I'm experienced with it. So we'll
In the scope of things, it's beneficial to the horsemen. It's beneficial to the state. They're going to get more tax money. Horsemen will get more days. Although we have other obligations that the commission has to adhere to, which would be the tribes and other people that want to voice their concerns, or, you know, maybe they, you know, so we will have the big hearing in Clovis. And that's where public comment will be taken, as well as the tribes, what they've come up with. Izzy, you have more to say about?
No, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, I do appreciate you letting the public know that there is a process to this whole ordeal, and that the commission is required to hit certain steps, mark certain boxes for this process to be conducted pursuant to our rules. So we are here to assure that we will abide by the rules.
Yeah. So
$12 million more in purse money. How much money more would go to the state?
the state total would probably be around 14 million, something in that range. And a half, somewhere. It's obviously 20 and 26, so the math is there, but it's a considerable amount that goes to the state.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question? State Senator Bill Scherer,
we can open up for questions.
not a comment.
Richard?
The commissioners are not obligated to answer the questions at this point in time.
Well, Nick,
But he can ask the question.
yeah, go ahead.
We'll defer to legal counsel whether it's prudent to answer the type of question that it may or may not be.
Go ahead.
So, San Juan County, San Juan County's been the host of Sunray for almost 30 years now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we learned about this August from Sunray, but not from you. And so how exactly do we get to voice our opinions and express our concerns in Clovis?
You come to Clovis when we set the hearing, which will be in December sometime, I'm sure.
All 120 families that are going to be displaced because of this, got to flag Clovis and say, hey, not a good plan. Just doesn't feel right to me, Mr. Chair. I know
Yeah.
I'm not making a statement.
Probably do a
But
written,
I do want to know exactly what the steps are they can tell us to make sure
Go ahead.
that we can make a presentation in Clovis or anywhere else that might make sense to have.
If I could
Go ahead.
clarify the process. First of all, on behalf of the commissioners, Director Trejo and the staff, welcome to everybody here today, both in person and online. Just want to state for the record that the proposed relocation of a racetrack is dealt with in our administrative rules, Rule 15.2.1.8 J4. The gaming compact that the state of New Mexico has with the native tribes, nations, and pueblos also recognizes the possibility of a relocation of a track, and it basically references that process will be handled by rules developed by the Racing Commission. So currently, right now, there is a 45-day comment period. So essentially, anybody here and online If you would like to submit written comments, you've got 45 days to do that. Please submit those to our senior law clerk. His email address is david.dominguez@rc.nm.gov. Again, david.dominguez@rc.nm.gov. You can find his email address on the website. All of those written comments will basically be provided to the commissioners, and also pursuant to the rule that also be provided to the applicant who is proposing this move. As Chairman Smith mentioned, we will have a public hearing in Clovis. The way the process works is there's a 45-day comment period, which is in effect now. Then by rule, we have to wait an additional 15 days before we can hold that public hearing. At the public hearing, people that, I'm sure that we'll have people attend remotely as well, but that's when people who don't submit written comments can submit oral comments as well. And more than likely, all of those written comments as well will be made part of the record. So essentially that is the process. And we thank all of you for being here. And Chairman Smith, back to you.
Go ahead.
On that, reason that you probably heard it from somebody like a lobbyist or somebody who reads the agenda and not from us, it's only because of the protocol. I have to go to my regulatory agency to present before I say anything to anybody. So when it came out through an agenda, which I had to submit to get on the agenda to ask for a ruling on a preliminary approval. So that's the only reason. Obviously, once this process goes through, or after today, we will sit down and go through the process of how every person that it works for us right now. Let me just go back real quickly. I was standing with Kenny Kenrick and the Hamiltons and Ray Walters and Bruce Leslie and in 1999 when we all got our licenses. Right? I've been going to Farmington since the early 80s. I used to go up and rodeo at the McGee Park. I built the addition to the school up there I put their cafeteria in, their gymnasium in. I've been going, I used to go to, when I had that construction job at Annis Elementary, it was a pretty good sized job. I go up there all the time, hang out the skyline with everybody, try to stay out of fights in the skyline. And we, you know, I like Farmington a lot. This has got nothing to do with anything about Farmington. It has to do with the fact that we're down to 17 days. We have days up there where we literally have zero amount bet on simulcast, not any. So all of the employees up there, if they're the head of security or the head of HR or whatever they are, they have an automatic job. We're not going to let anybody think that in any way they're going to go unemployed if they work for us. If they don't want to move to Clovis, it's a different situation. But it has nothing to do, it's just strictly business. And I'm not sure the way it's going now, whether or not we can even keep it open. So that's the only reason I haven't come to talk to you personally, is because I have a protocol I have to follow. I can't go feed to anybody that make public what I'm going to do unless I go to my regulatory agency first and present the package to them and ask for approval. So I apologize if you didn't hear it from me. I truly do. I'm a New Mexican. You know, I was the only one left at those tracks, but I want you to know that it means a lot to me, so it's not a slight. Thank you. I would like to end the presentation real quickly. It's, again, I think, given where we are now, and know it certainly has some people happy and some people not happy. It's bittersweet either way. It is, for the racing industry itself and for the state of New Mexico, it is, what's proposed here is a big improvement for the racing. We obviously got to help Ruidoso get back on their feet. We got to help Ruidoso get their racing back. We got to help Ruidoso all we can to get going. I don't know exactly when that will be, but in the meantime, this project works.
I'd like to say that the presentation was really professional, impressive. Saying that, we have rules we have to follow. And, but Richard, I think that, go ahead.
Thank you for the presentation on behalf of the commissioners. Honorable commissioners, it's my understanding that based on the information that you received here today and the presentation, the commission would like to entertain the following motion. The motion is to a contingent approval regarding the relocation of Sunray Racetrack and Casino to Clovis, conditional or contingent based on the need to follow the process to allow the public and the Native Nations, tribes, and Pueblos to respond, and also the need for a public hearing in Clovis where we can receive additional comments. And only after that entire process is followed would the commission then entertain a final decision on the matter. I believe that's the motion that the commission would like to entertain.
It is. Looking for motions.
Buffington, I will make that motion.
Second, Petrie.
Roll call, please, David.
Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Buffington,
Yes.
Commissioner Petrie.
Yes.
That being said, we need to, in this section, is that right? Well, I got one more thing to say. Now, we can give these out to people that want to see them, right? Right, so this is all public. There's gonna be people, I imagine the tribe will want to see it, and different organizations, and so this is public knowledge, right?
Yes, it's in their domain now. It could be different if they. We have some problem whatsoever. And, since we have preliminary approval, now it's in public.
All right.
Thank you. Commissioner.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is the,
Mark.
park. Approval for Sunland Park, Dustin.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Dustin Dix, Director of Racing, Sunland Park Racetrack. Sunland Park is requesting a ratification of approval to amend our first four of entry days to work around the holidays. First day of entries will be December 20th for December 19th for January 2nd, December 20th for the 3rd, the 21st for January 4th, and December 22nd for January 5th. After that, we'll go to our normal 7-day entry schedule, beginning January 2nd, entering for January 9th.
Read all your questions. We're going to approve them all at once. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, our 2025-26 park schedule as submitted. And those versus what we ended at last year, that park schedule. Approval of our 2025-26 condition book. Approval of our 2025-26 state schedule and the gaming and breakage from that. And I wanted to thank the breeders and Mary Barber for her work on the stake schedule and condition book as well to make sure we had the right read and set of numbers.
Any discussion?
You need a motion?
Need a motion?
I would make a motion to approve under F items 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Second, Petrie.
Roll call, please, David.
Yes, Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Buckington,
Yes.
Commissioner Petrie.
Yes.
Moving on to G, approvals for Zia Park. Chris or Ken? It's gonna be Ken.
Chris is traveling. He's on, but
Okay.
Mike responds.
Okay.
Good morning, Chair, Commissioners, Ken Getz, Vice President General Manager on behalf of Zia Park. Would like to request approval of Zia Park's 2025 wagering format, post time schedule. Second item is request for the 2025 racing officials for Zia Park race meet. We do have, just a note, we do have a Parker Scales position that is actively being filled now. So shortly we'll ask for a separate approval for that.
Buffington, I will make a motion to approve 1 and 2 under G.
Second, Petrie.
Roll call, please, David.
Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Buckington,
Yes.
Commissioner Petrie.
Yes.
Moving on to H, approvals for the Downs of Albuquerque. Don. You went, okay, yeah, go ahead, Izzy.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, the Downs at Albuquerque, well, Izzy Trade on the Downs at Albuquerque, requesting approval for items H1 through 12. If you want me to read them real quick, I can. You have them before yourselves. A lot of cancellations, adjustments, post time, the variance requests.
All related to the lighting now, outage and all that.
Yeah, changing of officials and non-blanks. So they've had a lot going on at the Downs at Albuquerque. So
Yeah.
it's all covered in items H1 through 12. If we could respectfully request approval.
Okay.
Buffington, I'll make a motion to approve under H items 1 through 12.
Second, Petrie.
Roll call, please, David.
Chairman Smith,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Buckington,
Yes.
Commissioner Petrie.
Yes.
Right, just moving on to I, in a matter of the race view of license Gary Groth Cross regarding race 8, which ran at the Downs of Albuquerque on September 12th, 2025. Richard.
Okay. And just to let the audience know, as well as the folks online, is this will be the final agenda item for this meeting. After that, will be the adjournment. So you folks are free to stay. You folks are free to go. Mr. Cross? Hi, how are you? Good. Okay. Yeah, so come on up. You can start the case review, okay? Okay. Okay. That's good.
So we're reversing this? Are we reversing this?
Yeah. What is it? I haven't seen the film. And I think we used the wrong horse. Should know this based on what I've heard.
So the horse that DQ'd will end up winning the race?
I think that's right.
Uh,
Like I said, I did say.
Okay. All right, we are back on the record, and the last agenda item, this is, today is October 23rd, 2025. The time is 10:30 a.m. I'm Richard Bustamante. I'm the attorney for the Racing Commission, and I'll be overseeing this race review proceeding. This is the matter of the race appeal of licensee Gary Cross regarding race number 8, which was run at the Downs of Albuquerque on September 12th, 2025. The race review is pursuant to Commissioner Rule 15.2.5.14E. And sitting today in the race review are Commissioners Chairman Billy Smith, Vice Chairman John Huffington, and Commissioner Bob Petrie. They will be hearing this race review and rendering a decision. Notice of the date, time, and place of this hearing was sent to Mr. Cross, as well as either the owners or trainers of horses in that race, given that the placement of their horses may be impacted by the outcome of today's appeal. The question basically before the commissioners essentially is whether to uphold the steward's determination or whether to revise the order of the finish. We'll first hear from the appellant, Mr. Cross, basically, and then after he finishes his presentation, then we'll hear from presiding steward Julie Cagno. I believe that Mr. Cross is having Rick Kleppel present the case for him. Is that correct, Mr. Cross?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And will anybody else be testifying on behalf of Mr. Cross's position? Okay, and your name, sir?
Jose A. Gonzalez.
Okay, and how are you licensed by the commission?
Over there.
Thank you. Okay, let me have Steward Cagno, you, sir, Mr. Cross, and Mr. Kleppel all stand up. And if you could raise your right hand, do you hereby swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, yes.
Okay, the record reflect that all four did affirmatively respond to that. Mr. Kleppel, basically, please present your case regarding why you believe that the steward's action was error and why the order of finish should be revived. The race will be playing and you can tell them when to stop, rewind, et cetera, et cetera. So thank you, sir. Please proceed.
Okay, can we watch it and then go back and rewind it again? That way everybody's aware of we see it, and then we.
You can.
And if you'd like, you can walk up to the monitor just to point things out, okay?
Explain before we start, explain, which horse.
We're looking at the number 9 one. He's the one that was disqualified. That's the process.
Okay.
Okay, and there was, I believe, 3 horses lost riders in the race. And so, right, we'll watch the race and then I'll come back and explain to you our position on it.
Okay.
So you represent the 9.
Yes, sir. That's Mr. Cross's.
Can you get a head on? Yeah.
From
Keep going forward.
But 9 here.
Mine's on the outside, yeah, so please get outside on there.
We wait to get on and then you feel what you see.
Yeah, the head on it is you will be the better view.
Read it narrate.
No, I want them to see it, and that way they know what I'm supposed to be talking about.
That was my horse and Allison.
Was yours one of those?
The one go down is away.
One what?
One boy going down the 10 horse, that was mine.
You know, like, yours.
Hmm.
You picked the 9 out?
Yeah, 7 cousins. The 7. Yeah.
It's 13749.
You already start putting pressure in this horse. See, the 9 is here. This is the 7. You see how close it's already to the 3. He already start put the pressure.
If you watch the rider, look at what the four riders action is there. He already sees there's trouble, so he's headed his horse to the outside. Way before, and look how far the 9 is off the 7 and the 1 and the 3. The pressure's already there. The 3 riders already standing up because he knows he's in trouble. This is way before anything else happened.
The rider in the 4 horse is already got trouble with his horse. It's because of the actions of the 7 horse. You see how close the 7 is already. This boy come down the rider. And then that's how.
That caused a chain reaction to the
The
other.
9 is here. I mean, this guy already have this horse in trouble.
The pressure's already there. Okay, so the guy's already in trouble. Yeah, and the 1, you can see he's starting to angle straight because when they hit the turn, they're going to switch leads. So they're going to drop over when they switch their lead. And so the 1's trying to give himself room. And right there, the 7's got pressure on the 3. It's already, and the 4 sees what's happening, so he's angling his horse's head out to get out of there because he knows there's a trouble coming.
Motion.
See, right there, the 4's, the 9's off the 7, and the 7's the one, the 3 trying to get out of there, flips the 7 hill when he's trying to get out of there. And the 9 had nothing to do with that incident at all. See the 1 coming out right there, and the 7 want to drop over now, but it's good.
The 7
Now,
is already.
now the 7's in trouble, the 3's already in trouble, he's trying to get out of there, flips heels, and that's where it starts, right there, he flips heels, goes off, knocks the other rider off. And the 10 goes after that. But the 4 sees it all happening way beforehand, and he starts to get his horse completely out of there. And he's lucky he didn't go down.
We're not, those jockeys were seriously hurt, were they?
The 9 got no, that was just mine.
Yeah, I have a statement from the 3 rider, and he says that the 7 was the one that caused the problem, and he left his phone number if you need to call him. This is from the rider of the 3 horse that went down.
Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Kleppel on behalf of Mr. Cross?
Not from me.
Thank you, Commissioner Petrie. Mr. Kleppel, anything additional to add or?
I mean, I think this points out there where, I think this is the case right here, that it's already happened way prior to the incident that they said that the 9 was the cause of.
And again, if you want to replay this race again.
I mean, I think that's all I don't know what more we can refute unless after she gives her presentation or something else that they would.
This, you should hear from the other party here.
Stuart Cagno, do you have any questions for?
Racing son. My horse was the 10 horse. And my horse go down really bad, 3 riders go down. And I feel that they disqualified the wrong horse and they penalized the wrong people. And my horse don't get justice. I mean, my horse almost get killed. By their decision, I mean, I don't feel that my horse gets adjusted.
If you look right there, look how far the 9 is off the 7 horse. And see where the 1 and the 7 are? The 7 looks like he's coming down and the 3's in trouble right now. The 4 rider sees this and starts to angle his horse to the outside. This is way before the incident even happened. He sees there's a problem.
Sir, no any comments, please? Got a horse in the race. Yeah, so I don't think we've gone far enough in this video to see when the 9 horse, when it gets to the turn is when it gets crowded, and the 9 horse, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying the 9 horse is starting to crowd the 7, and I don't know if the 7 clips heels with the 3 or not, because the video doesn't show it, but, we haven't got to the incident yet. This is prior to the incident, and I think if you go a few frames to the turn, we'll be able to see more about when it happened, and as the jockeys took out and the horse went down.
Richard, and please, that's testimony, he needs to be sworn, and then he needs to state his name and who he is. Okay, yeah, and just have people speaking.
Do you hereby, first of all, please state your name, sir?
Peter Amastor?
Okay, do you hereby swear that the statement you just provided was the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. And please no more speaking until you're recognized, okay? So, sir, do you have any other comments?
If you just play it slow, we can. Here is the issue. Stop it right there. Okay. See how far the 9 is off 7 horse? See the 7 and the 1 already causing the 3. The 3's in trouble. He has no shot.
This guy is already in trouble. His horse is not even close to this one yet.
Commissioners, any questions for Mr. Kleppel, who's speaking on behalf of Mr. Cross?
Keep running it through in slow motion.
No.
One more.
Especially between the 9 and the 7, it's the 7 the one. If the 3 is on.
Stuart Cagno, do you have any questions for Mr. Kleppel or the other individuals that have spoken?
My one question is about a piece of paper that was submitted to the commissioners that there's no knowledge of, nobody's been, not been attested to. I don't even know what it is. And so there's no attestation as to what, who.
Okay, all right, I will show you that. Any questions for Mr. Kleppel or any of the individuals that spoke? Hold a minute, sir.
No questions for anyone.
Mr. Kleppel, anything additional to add in the?
No, at this point,
presentation? Okay, all right.
But that statement is the statement of one of the riders, to say this, the rider, the court, the number 7 is one cause of the trouble. The students already know because we meet with them day after, and all the riders involved in this incident, they didn't know, and the students know that was the 7, the one cause of the trouble to them. All right, thank you.
Stuart Cagno?
I would like to respond to the letter. This is not known as price. We don't know who wrote it. And I disagree
You can call that number.
Hold on a minute, please.
that what Mr. Gonzalez just testified to is different than what this says. That's all. So for me, this isn't notarized, then we have no definitive as to who wrote it.
And Stuart Cagno, now is the time for your presentation.
We got some sick talk. Yeah. I really. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the teams that's been knocked offline. Everyone's out, so Commissioner people not being watching or anything, so. I just take a minute to get back on. Okay. Back on.
What happened
Try
now?
to get the technology going, folks, and thank you for your patience.
Okay. That's true.
And they got, you know, you look at Sunrise simulcast is really part of the dining area. I'll just make a second. Yeah, afterthought sort of thing. And they used to have a nice simulcast. I think we blamed the tribe, but you know, they were the ones that go through the simulcast.
That's exactly right. The horseman butchered a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And folks, while they're figuring out the technical issues, just to let you folks know, after the completion of the presentation, we'll move everybody out of the room. The commission will deliberate, and then basically we'll bring you folks back in so they can announce their decision. That'll be followed up by the commission, okay? We are back. We're being recorded, and Stuart Cagno, please continue.
Gonna let it play slowly as we go through this, so you can see where the 9 is. Actually, the 8 path. As we're approaching the 3/8 pole, we have the 1 on the inside, then the 3, then the 4, then the 7, then the 9 to the outside. The 9 is moving down, and at this point in the race, there's room for that. There's no issue here. As we get closer to the 3/8 pole, as was mentioned before, we will see the 4 start to take up, recognizes that perhaps they may not have enough force, or whatever's going to happen, that the 4 is going to start to take up, to change positions, and eventually move to the outside. 7 drops down closer. First decided to take back and move to the outside. 1, the 3, and the 7 are in tight quarters. And it is recognized that the 7 is aware of the 3 and the tight quarters, and he's trying to move on. But as the 9 continues to drop in, there's always a point where the only horse that can relieve pressure or add more pressure is the outside horse. Inside horses have nowhere else to go. So it's the outside horse that has the opportunity to relieve any pressure or undue pressure. And at this point, the 7 is trying to turn his horse's head out a little bit. The 3 at some point decides, I can't speak for the rider of the 3, but perhaps the rider of the 3 realized he didn't have enough force to stay in there. There's a little bit of a saying, get in or get out. So before you get to a turn, you want to decide, are you staying in there? Do you have enough force to be in there? Is your horse willing to be in there? Or do you need to get out? The 4 had already recognized that, and perhaps now the 3 is recognizing, I need to get out. The 9 has drifted down now into approximately the 4 path. As we go forward, he's taking out. 7 is still trying to maintain his position, but at this point, with the pressure from the 9, there's only so many there's actually no choices for the 1 and the 7. As the 9 continues to drop down, here essentially they're head and head from the inside rail. The 1, the 7, and the 9 are pretty even, and you can see just looking at their heads how close they are. You really can't get much closer than this. So without any more room to go, there's the explanation that the 7 could have moved out. He doesn't have that option. The only horse that can relieve that pressure is the 9 horse. Even as you go further, you can see how close the 9 horse's head is to the 7 horse. So there's nothing else there's nowhere else for that 7 horse to go. The 9 horse is in control of what's happening at this point. And again, you can see looking here how close these horses are. The 1 and the 7 have no options here. The only horse in control of what's happening ultimately at this point is the 9. Despite everything that was happening beforehand, at this point, the 9 had an option to move out, take off the pressure. But as you can see how close they are, at this point, it was the 9 in control of what's happening. And then ultimately, we know what happens afterwards. I'm not going to continue to play the rest of it. But to me, this shows us clearly where these horses are at this point in the race. And then
Continue. Don't stop it.
okay. So again, we can see that the horse, the head of the 7 and the 9, how close they are. There's nowhere for that 7 horse to go, and nor for the 1, because he's got the rail inside of him. 3 is taking up. Fortunately, he didn't take up either quick enough or soon enough to not clip heels. His horse clips heels, stumbles. He starts to fall off. He knocks the rider of the 2 off into the path of the 10, and the 10 then stumbles. Running it or go back.
Commissioners, any questions for presiding Stuart Cagno?
No, I have none.
Okay,
No.
Commissioners, would you like to see the race again?
Good. I'm good.
Okay, all right. Gentlemen, any questions for Stuart Cagno? Stuart Cagno, anything additional to add?
I do have one thing. I was told, and I don't know if this is another hearsay, that there was multiple writers were going to give this testimony written, but they said that they were not going to accept it, even notarized. That's why that's not notarized. But the writer said that they could call him, and that's why he put his telephone number. So if they wanted to ask him, he was the writer of the 3 horse that went that.
But the students are aware because everybody meets them and everybody agreed there was the 7 horse. And you can see the rider in the 7 horse. He said he keep riding. I mean, he was in little trouble when he I mean, he was keep riding, even though he already have the guys that behind him in trouble. He was not even trying.
Stuart Cagnon, did you want to respond to what has just been stated?
I do disagree with the statement that everyone agreed to such and such a statement. And I'll even go back to the reference to this writer's statement. Writer's statement, even without notarization, is simply saying, I was in trouble, something happened. And that does happen routinely in races. Yes, riders are in trouble. This is about ultimately the disqualification for interference. That's what this is about, not who is in trouble or not in trouble, but the horse that created the interference and affected the outcome of the race was the horse that was disqualified. And that's what we're here for.
I do have something to add. And
Richard, remember these big questions.
Yes.
And even if we're not going to go into dialogue.
Yeah.
the writer of the 9 holes,
And
during the hearing,
and this will be the closing statement for you.
during the hearing, he's right here, was issued a suspension of 30 days for riding careless riding. Okay, this was that morning. That's what he was told. Then he got a call later that afternoon that they were not going to do that. So he initially didn't get any penalty for careless riding. So, I mean,
Is that correct?
Yes, it is correct. And upon review, there were a lot of things that contributed to what happened here. The disqualification is taken on its own because it affected the outcome of the race. Separately, there are discussions or reviews, movies for penalties and for riders to have the opportunity to see what happened in the race. So
So you penalize the horse and not the rider?
it's, yeah, you could phrase it that way if you'd like to phrase it that way. But our rules are about interference and affecting the outcome of the race. It's not about affecting a horse. It's about what affected the outcome of the race. This did affect the outcome of the race. And the results of the race were affected by this incident. That was the reason for the disqualification. That's a separate issue than the rider. But the rules refer to interference. And this was interference that resulted in the disqualification.
On a deal like that, you made reference several times that the 9 could have seen this coming and should have done something. That gets pretty, what you're saying in a way is, well, of course, in your 9 hole, you need to stay in the 9 hole.
No, of course.
Please.
Right. They have the opportunity to drop in when clear.
But the question is, do you have an obligation to clear a hole, to clear a path for someone that's in trouble or behind you? That was my question.
If your actions as a rider, or if whatever horse is doing, because sometimes horses do things, that the rider isn't fully in control of. But when you have the opportunity to not put someone in a dangerous situation, then that's the course that should be taken. And it doesn't have to be intentional. Nobody's saying there was intent involved, but all riders are aware of how dangerous this sport is. And as a result, need to be aware of what's happening in particular inside of them. It also happens to the outside. But in this particular location is what every rider knows, horses are going to switch to their left lead and there's going to be a shifting. So in order to ride a race, riders will do their best to ensure that there's clearance for everybody. And again, I'm not going to intent here. This is about what happened in the race regarding the disqualification.
It comes down to opportunity or obligation, and I got it.
Let Chris finish.
If you're looking at a rider and possible penalties, but as far as what happened in the race, this incident affected the outcome of the race.
Okay.
And that our interference rules address that interference.
2 separate events in your mind, the jockey penalty and the 2 separate events. Okay.
This is only about interference and disqualification.
Okay, that makes.
Let the race finish real quick, one more time. Just push it and let it finish. Don't let anybody say anything, just let's watch it. Right.
Without the blob on there.
Loose horse caused a lot of the problem.
Yeah, he kind of nudged him in, huh?
Well, then,
It was under control even in the lane. 7 cars.
yeah. All right, I've seen what I need to see.
Okay, commissioners, any questions for either presiding Stewart Cagno or for Mr. Kleppel on behalf of Mr. Cross?
No,
I don't have any.
Thank you, Commissioner Petrie.
good job, both
Okay.
groups.
Essentially, at this point, folks, if all of you could exit the hearing room, the commissioners are going to deliberate and we'll bring you in to announce their decision, okay? Thank you, everybody.
I'll sign out and call on Denise on the other phone.
Thank you, Commissioner Petrie.